Hello and welcome to Neutral Wrestling and welcome to the Match of the Month. Yeah, the inaugural episode of the Match of the Month. This is your Match of the Month for January 2020. Now, before I get all official, just to go into it, just for I don't know, I'm just thinking of mates of mine, wrestling fans who are busy. They don't all have as much time on their hands as I seem to be able to watch all this stuff. So I just thought it'd be good to have each month have a quick, 10-minute show, just quickly going over the matches that you might have missed, the matches you obviously haven't missed, the matches that you need to see from each respective month. Just do a top 10 and then just some recommendations at the end of the show. So yeah, it's just going to be a quick 10-minute show. Like I say, Match of the Month, January 2020, the inaugural episode, so let's just get into it, shall we? Obviously, January is notably known for your Wrestle Kingdoms, your Royal Rumbles, they seem to do a TakeOver UK now and again, so most of it is pretty much heavy on those matches, but I'm going to throw in an odd match that you might not have known in there, but anyway, let's start the list. We'll start at number 10, and 10th on my list is a match from New Year's Dash, January 6th in New Japan Pro Wrestling, company that's going to be featured quite heavy in this list. And this was the opening match of the New Year's Dash show, and it was a 6-man Young Lions tag between Toa Henare, Yota Tsuji, Uemura against Alex Coughlin, Connors, and Ryan Fredericks. Now, this match, I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. It was usually they don't sometimes get as much time, the Young Lions, to show everything that they can give, but this was a really, really strong match. So far, that it definitely makes my top 10 for the month. We went 4 stars on this match, so definitely check that one out. In number 9, this was towards the end of the month at NXT versus NXT UK Worlds Collide, and it was Garza Jr. versus Shane Strickland, or Isaiah Scott as he's known now, versus Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks for the now NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I'm not going to spoil any of the matches or go into detail of what happened in the matches, but it's just match recommendations. We went 4 stars on this match as well. It was a really good match with quite a surprising ending, for me at least anyway. Number 8 in the list was a match that has been built up since last June when Chris Jericho attacked Tanahashi, I think, at Dominion after Jericho's match with Okada, and they delivered a very, very professional match between two, veterans of the wrestling world. As you'd expect, they're not going to work the style maybe they would have done 5, 10, 15 years ago, but if anyone had any doubt that they were going to deliver a top-class match, look no further, because this Tanahashi versus Chris Jericho match, the first match in the list and not the last at Wrestle Kingdom 14, Night 2, I believe. 7 in the list, and it's still with New Japan. And it is a tag match that took place yet again on the New Year's Dash show, and that was the tag match between Ishii, Go-O teaming up to take on the team of Evil and Shingo. Really strong tag team match. Obviously, this was setting up matches that might be featured in February's Match of the Month listings, because we had singles matches between Ishii and Evil and Go-O and Shingo at the New Beginning in Sapporo show. But this was a tag match on New Year's Dash, worth going out your way seeing, and this came in at 4 stars. So these first 4 matches all were rated at 4 stars. Now, next might be a match that some of you might not have seen, some of you might see if you're Puro fans, but this is coming in at number 6. Excuse me for the pronunciations, I'm not 100% sure of this, but it's Kiyomiya versus Go Shiozaki. This match was in Pro Wrestling Noah. Hope I'm right with that. I've not actually got that in front of me. I'm pretty sure it was the Pro Wrestling Noah show that was head-to-head with Wrestle Kingdom. This was the main event of the show, so if you're looking to dig out the show, which I hope that's what you're using this show to do, if you're not, just enjoy the show. But this match was on the January 5th Pro Wrestling Noah show main event. It was just a great match. One that might have gone under the radar in your match of the list year, or match of the month list, whatever list it is that you're doing. But this was a great match. Comes in number 6 at 4.5 stars. So not bad if you can have number 6 in your top 10 matches for a month, coming in at 4.5 stars. A lot of 4.5 star matches in this list. Next, number 5, and we're still in Japan. What a month for Japan this has been. And it's a man who I think over the course of the year will be popping up plenty in the Match of the Month podcast we're going to be doing monthly. It is the one, the only Kenta Miyahara. A man who probably had top 3 wrestlers in the world last year. Some of you will have him at number 1. Kenta Miyahara against Jake Lee in All Japan Pro Wrestling. I think this was on day 2 of their new... I should really have written notes on this, shouldn't I? On day 2 of their New Year's War show. I think they had a match. I'm sure they were in the final, off the top of my head, Champions Carnival last May. But this was another great match between the two. One that I would have loved to have been in that iconic venue of Korakuen Hall for. Definitely worth going out your way to watch. So Kenta Miyahara versus Jake Lee in at number 5. Number 4, still in Japan. I can hear the WWE fans saying, is this guy taking the mick? But hey, it's January. You're going to have a lot of matches like you will whenever G1 month is this year from Japan. And number 4 is Hiromu in his return match against the one, the only Will Ospreay. Day 1 of Wrestle Kingdom 14. Just a crazy match. They really went all out for this one, for the junior heavyweight belt in New Japan. So definitely go out your way to see that one. At number 4, I don't think it'll be the last time we talk about Will Ospreay this year. Number 3, people are thinking it's pretty obvious what matches are going to be in. Maybe a surprise for a few of you. But number 3, a match that I think would make number 1 in a lot of people's lists. But for me, it didn't quite. I preferred the other match. Preferred the match the following night. So number 3 is on night 1 of Wrestle Kingdom. And that is Okada versus Ibushi. The main event of night 1 at the Tokyo Dome. A great, great match. Just like they had in the block finals of the G1 back in August. This was a great match, and it is well worth going out of your way to see. A very long match, so if you're not a fan of long matches, maybe this isn't for you. Went about, maybe 40, 45 minutes, but it's what you're going to get these days from an Okada main event, and it was a great match. It will be in a lot of people's match of the year lists come next December. Number 2, a few people might raise their eyebrows at this, but I loved it. I've seen what a lot of people, star ratings they slapped on it, opinions they slapped on it. It was very good to some people, not great, but I loved it. I am not a big fan of Royal Rumble matches, but this one was absolutely fantastic. For me, I'm going to be honest, I think it's the best Royal Rumble match that I've watched. And I've watched every one since, 97, 98. For me, it was the best one, up there with your... bad years, 2007 Royal Rumble where we had Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Edge and Randy Orton in the last 4. Up there with other classic Royal Rumbles that I seem to forget off the top of my head. It was better than the ones where Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio were getting booed anyway. So number 2 was your male Royal Rumble match from this year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The only main roster WWE match in this list. Another thing I've just noticed, no AEW matches from this list. A few will come up in the recommendations at the end of the show though. So for all you AEW fans out there, don't shoot me. Anyway, so the men's Royal Rumble match in at number 2 at 4.5 stars. Same rating as Okada Ibushi. Hiromu Ospreay in number 4. Kenta Miyahara and Jake Lee in number 5. And, do I have to pronounce this again? Kiyomiya versus Go Shiozaki at number 6. I bet there's some Noah fans saying... If I got them pronunciations right, drop me a comment, let me know. Number 1 in this list. Have you all guessed what it is? Are you all shouting out what it is? Okada versus Naito. Night 2, Wrestle Kingdom, main event. I love this match. Almost went 5 stars on this match, but... gone 4.75. People are probably thinking, I don't care what rating you've slapped on it. It's number 1. So your match of the month for January 2020, the first month of the decade in pro wrestling, is Kazuchika Okada versus Tetsuya Naito. Great match, 4.75, and a match that I think will probably be in my top 5 matches of the year come the end of 2020. So yeah, they're the matches. We had I'm just looking at this. I think we had 6 matches from New Japan, 1 from All Japan, 1 from Pro Wrestling Noah, 1 from WWE main roster, and 1 from a mixture of NXT versus NXT UK. So that is your top 10. So you've probably watched a lot of those matches, but people just wanted the quick list of our orderings of them. And then, I don't know, if in a year's time, if you think to yourself, oh, what matches should I watch from the start of last year? You've got a list right there for you to go and check out. Now I'm going to throw out just some recommendations. Great time for my cat to fly through the cat flap. Just some recommendations for matches that you might have missed, you might have watched. Now, one, I haven't seen this match, but a lot of people are raving about it. It took place at Vendetta 2020, and it was Dowie James versus Will Ospreay. I'm being told that is a match you need to go out of your way to see. I'm just looking at my list in my goofy little notebook here. Some other matches that I might just throw in there that might have gone under the radar. Let's have a look. What should we throw in there? We had Yokosuka versus Sato on the 3rd of January in All Japan. That was a very, very good match. We had the Bruiserweights versus the Grizzled Young Veterans in the final of the Dusty Rhodes Classics. Probably wasn't as good as the Bruiserweights versus Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews on the 15th of January on NXT TV. Other matches can I throw in here? Hard to Kill from Impact Wrestling, a new company to talk about on this Match of the Month show. Well, not new, but it's the first time we've mentioned them. They had Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin. That was a good match. Obviously, that match, Sami Callihan versus Tessa Blanchard, that controversial build-up to the match at least, and with a controversial winner as well, as Tessa Blanchard, spoiler, became, well, the main champion on the entire show. Another match from Wrestle Kingdom, Goto versus Kenta. I enjoyed that one. Naito versus Jay White. Moxley versus Lance Archer. 1st of January, going back to that first day of the year, we had the Elite versus the Lucha Brothers and Pac. Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin on that show as well. Another match that I really enjoyed that some of you might look past is on the boat. That match on the boat, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page versus SCU, that opened the show on the boat. We obviously had a great tag match between Imperium and Undisputed Era. That was really good. So yeah, it's been a great month. I'm not going to go into too much. You're probably getting too much information at once, but yeah. So that is just a quick summary of the matches you saw from January 2020. If there's any there that you want to go and check out, I encourage you to do so. I think some people might not have seen the Young Lions match that came in at number 10 in the list from New Year's Dash. I'd go and check that one out. That was one of my favourite matches from the month, definitely. If you're not watching any All Japan, you're missing out on Kento Miyaharu, who's producing some great stuff at the moment. But yeah, the winner for the match of the month for January 2020 is Okada versus Naito. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the show. Just a quick little idea I thought I'd try out. We'll be back in February with February's matches of the month. Find out what the best match from February is at the moment. We're only a few days in, but that Will Ospreay Zack Sabre match is going to take some beating, but we'll see. We will see. So yeah, subscribe to us, Apple Podcasts, search Neutral Wrestling. YouTube, just search Neutral Wrestling. We are on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Neutral Wrestling. So yeah, enjoy the show. Check us out. Me and Danny and Teb, will be back to review last year's WrestleMania. We did one for WrestleMania 34 where we spoke for hours on end about our adventures at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans, and we will be doing the same for WrestleMania 35. See what we go up to in New York, New Jersey, whatever you want to call it. So stay tuned for that. I will be back on Friday actually, for the 18th installment of the WWE vs AEW podcast. So yeah, that's it. January Match of the Month episode all done. Go and watch some matches because there was some great stuff from this month. I'm Daniel. See you next time.